Cousin sent me that card for Easter. Cousin Crystal. And rest in power. Rest in power, Chuck Norris. Memory eternal. Great martial artist. Hold on, I'm gonna brush my teeth. I'll be back. Chuck Norris deserves a master's bow. When I did Taekwondo and a grandmaster came to the studio for a belt testing or for whatever reason, hey baby, Ginger, she's always looking at me. I'll look over and she's looking at me under the couch. I look down the hallway, she's standing in the hallway looking at me. Anyway, so when a grandmaster visits, Chuck Norris, I believe, was a grandmaster martial artist. And he was a prominent figure for all martial artists in America and around the world. Rest in power, brother. So, Chuck Norris is famous for the... Chuck Norris is... Everybody does the Chuck Norris jokes, you know. There's 1,000 of them. It's basically whatever somebody thinks of, and you know, Chuck Norris, you know, and even when he died, and people are still commenting, you know, fucking can't even talk. Is anybody on this thing? Oh, one person. Hey, what's up? Hi. Sorry, I just saw that right now. What's up, May? And Amy, what's going on? Hello. Hi, everybody. I stutter sometimes when I talk when I'm live because I just don't know what I'm gonna say, and I'm nervous. So, yeah, Chuck Norris passed away. Rest in peace. You know. But I was surprised to see even the joke comments after. I mean, he's passed away, and I thought, you know, that people are still like, you know. I can't think of the jokes right now, but there's just one joke after another, you know. Chuck Norris, because Chuck Norris, Chuck Norris, you know, it's like, okay, guys, come on, guys, he just died. Can we like give that a few days off? Okay, I'm gonna heat my coffee up. I haven't been live in a while. Let's give Chuck Norris a sidekick. It's for you, Chuck. Give the right leg too. two sidekicks for Chuck Norris for everyone. Yeah, I was never a Chuck Norris fan, really. I'm just being honest, but I respected him as a martial artist. And when I was growing up, when I thought of Chuck Norris, I thought of Bruce Lee movies. Him with his like 70s haircut, and he's got his like pants on, and he's fighting with Bruce Lee. That's just what I thought about Chuck Norris. And Walker, Texas Ranger, was a pretty funny, or it was a pretty popular show, back when I was a kid. Walker, Texas Ranger, where it's just, he walks in and he's just like, blah, just kicks some dude in the face, and then someone pulls a gun out on him and he goes, whoa, and he goes, shah, whoa, whoa. That was the show was not, back in the day, you only had 13 channels to choose from. So that was, if there was absolutely nothing else on, I might watch that show, but I was never really a fan of that show either. But but it makes you think, because he's a martial artist. I think it's surprising that he passed away at 86, because he seems like somebody that would have lived till 100. He really does. He seems like somebody. He seemed really healthy still, and he looked healthy. He seemed like he's really healthy, and it seemed like he had some sort of figured out some master diet plan for people. Like you could take his course and figure out what types of food you should eat, and it just he was very health focused. He was I think one of the healthiest. And for him just to pass away just so suddenly, maybe he was sick for a while and they were keeping that, private or something. Yeah, he's just, you just never know, you just never know. And now that I'm 40 years old, now that I'm 40 years old, the older I get, the more I'm respecting elderly people. You just look at it differently. When you hit 40 years old and you're starting to feel like a little stiff, and your mental faculties are like slowing down, you're not caring about stuff as much as you used to. You're when you're in your 20s, you're kind of like always worried about everything, like what your friends think or your job, or you're kind of like scared of shit, but when you're 40, you're just like, I just really you just don't have the energy to think about, everything basically. So it's just, I'm 40 and I'm already starting to feel, older, and noticing that I don't want to say slowing down, but I guess, yeah, like slowing down and mental, just feeling, you do get, stronger. You get different types of strengths when you get older, like not giving a shit about anything. And you get like more numb, meaning you don't get as cold as easy. Yeah, your nerve endings just start dying out, basically slowing down. But I'm 40, so now I look at I'm 40 and I'm already starting to feel it, and so I look at people that are 75 and they're walking in my store and they're just like, I've seen people walking around at the grocery store, they're 70 years old, and you look down the grocery aisle and they're like this. And you're just like, fuck, I think everybody kind of thought that maybe old people were acting or playing it up. You know, what if they could just walk fine? What if old people can walk normal, but since they're 75, they're just fucking with everybody? They're walking around like this. I don't know. No, that's not. I mean, they're really old, so it just, you know, you get so old where you just wonder, you know. But some old people are like my grandma. She's old, you know, and she's so mentally sharp that it's, you know, alarming almost. And she's a fucking mind reader, and she'll like basically tell you exactly what you're thinking, you know, and you're just like, what the fuck, man? You reading my mind? Yeah, grandmas and old people, they have superpowers. I mean, they know shit, but man, they are moving very slowly around. But makes you just, I mean, take care of yourself, because I mean, I'm doing all, you know, organic, you know, mushroom creamer, mushroom coffee, because I think a lot of people, all that processed sugar and processed food that everybody was eating throughout the 90s, in the early 2000s, especially people my age and people in their 50s, I think they're really getting a lot of ailments, physical ailments, from that. And you could get into, you know, conspiracy shit like, oh, that's all a plan to give money to the hospitals and the pharmaceuticals. All of a sudden, everybody has diabetes and glaucoma and Alzheimer's. And it's true, all this, all ailments actually come from processed sugar, you know, excess of sugar, cavities, diabetes. Almost every ailment actually does come from processed sugar, and it's in everything. So, you know, definitely want to steer clear from that. And I think we eat way too much. I know, I'm sure you guys have seen that reel that's been going on social media, and it's just this old lady, and she's doing a seminar, and she's talking, and she's talking about how you know, the human body is supposed to be in a fasted state. You know, a long time ago, to eat 3 times a week was a lot for humans. They would probably only eat a couple times a week. So I'm pretty sure not only is our food all processed and poisoned, but also I think we're eating, you know, way too much, and the portions are ridiculous. You know, I'm Eastern Orthodox Christian, and we're in Lent right now, just like the Catholics are, and people are following the rules of Lent, but they're taking pictures of the food they're making, and the portions are extreme. It's like, yeah, you don't have any meat in your food, but it seems like your portion is 4 times the size as it should be. I mean, what's the point, you know, if you're just gonna eat these ridiculously large portions and be like, oh, I'm following all the rules for Lent? I think they're kind of missing the point of it. So, yeah, Chuck Norris, man, that came out of nowhere. He just, you know, I woke up this morning and I got on Facebook, and, you know, family confirmed Chuck Norris is dead. And then there's, you know, 5,000 comments, and it's, oh, Chuck Norris was, you know, da-da-da. I can't think of any of the jokes, but just one, you know, joke after another, and I'm just like, damn. So, any comments on, hey, what's up, Fisher Jones, Kanye Cook, Amy, can you play guitar? Yes, I could play guitar. Sorry, hold on, let me flip the phone around. I feel bad because I did not see any of those comments. I'm talking about Chuck Norris and my grandma for 25 minutes, and can you play guitar? I do play guitar. We had a chicken a few years ago. We named Chuck Norris. Chick Norris. Oh man, that's awesome. That actually is pretty great. Chick Norris. That actually puts me in a good mood for some reason. Fisher Jones, Kanye Cook. This Patricia. Heart Please. Heart Please, that one. That's her, actually, her profile name is Heart Please, that one. All right. Sidekick for Chuck. Bam. Energy is money. Money is energy. Energy is money. I had all this stuff. I haven't been live in a while. I've not been live in a minute. And I had like all these topics I wanted to go over. I should have wrote them down. But do you ever, want to say something? Especially when you go live on YouTube, you're like, I'm going to talk about energy and money and the principle of polarity, and we're going to talk about maturity. And you think you want to talk about all this stuff, and then you go live and you're just, Chuck Norris died. What's up, Gingy? Do you want a brush? Come here, Cupcake. She wants a brush. She's got her Mickey brush. She likes her hair brushed. Usually mommy brushes your hair, huh? But she said, I don't care who brushes my hair. I just want somebody to brush my hair. She likes to get her hair brushed. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of running out of things to say. I went live pretty regularly on YouTube and Instagram, even though I archived all the I was going live every day on Instagram for like 6 months. I archived it all, but I feel like I kind of said everything, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I legitimately went off on every little fucking thought I could possibly think of. And I'm like, well, that's it. I don't know what else to say. Oi, boy, bees. She goes, she almost does that on command. I think I've trained her how to go. This is Ginger. She's got her winter coat on. She's usually has her military cut, so she's awesome dog. Unbelievably spoiled, not trained at all. Thinks that I'm her servant. She thinks I'm her servant. She really does. When I come home, she's like, "What'd you bring me? What's there to eat?" Do not shit in my bathroom. No. You go shit in mommy's bathroom. You shit in mommy's bathroom. Go shit in mommy's bathroom. So shitting in my bathroom. That's what mommies are for, to do all that stuff. Shit and poop and pee and all that crap. You're good, go to mommy's bedroom. I don't care, go lay in there. Go shit in mommy's bathroom and sleep on mommy's bed. I don't care. What's up? Chuck Norris died. I'm sure we all heard it. That was the first 15 minutes of this live. So do you do song requests? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, if I was to play maybe like a bar or some venue or something, and somebody wanted me to play a specific song, and they were like, I don't know, maybe like a fan or something, I might do that. Cool. Thanks for this. Thank you for subscribed. Hello, I'm new. B is cool. 1741. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, if somebody, wanted to hear a certain song, I would probably learn it and play it live. Absolutely. My uncle, who's actually a really good guitar player, he's much better than I am. He's like 10 years older than me, and he was playing a lot in the 90s. And they were a cover band. It was him and his friends, and they were would play in Temple City and Arcadia and places like that, little west of LA. And they were really good. And my uncle, he's kind of the musician where he could just hear any song and just play it, basically. And my stepdad was like that also. How old are you? I'm 40 years old. So when I was growing up, my stepdad was a musician, and he was kind of, my role model. And fortunate for him, I liked a lot of bands like Green Day and Offspring, which was to him very basic music to play, because he played metal in the 80s. He was a very techie guitar player. And so when I was like, oh, I want to learn this Bush song, or I want to play this Offspring song, or how do you play this Green Day song? He would, just figure out how to play the song in like 10 seconds. He's like, they're all bar chords. It's just like all these songs are 3 or 4 bar chords. It's literally the simplest things in the world. Can you play Pretty Little Liar? Is that a song? I don't know. Who does that song? Who plays that? I could figure out how to play basically any song. Generally speaking, if it's Jake, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't know who Jake is. When you say Jake, I think of Jake Paul, but it's probably a musician. So, I mean, if it's an alternative rock song, I could probably figure out how to play it in 20 minutes. If it's some complicated jazz song or something, like Rango Reinhardt, or if it's, like some metal song from the 80s or something, or even some rock song from the 70s, it's going to be a lot difficult. It's going to be harder for me to learn how to play, it's going to take a little bit, but yeah, I could probably figure out how to play most any pop song or rock song, especially from the 90s and the 80s. My style is simple. I mean, I write music, and I've always been a fan of songs with 2 or 3 chords in them. I like bands like The Cars, Iggy Pop, stuff, just rock, simple rock music. But then there's also super, techie bands that are, a musician's band, like The Band, actually The Band, that's called The Band, and, kind of next level. It's a emotional song. Yeah, it gets there. Yeah, I wrote, emotional sounding music when I feel like younger, I like your chain. Thank you. Yep. Amazon. 2 angel babies, and it's silver, 925 silver, real silver. Amazon. I got this, I think, it was like $80. So where's my copy? So yeah, I came out with I dropped an album on March 6th, Dark Country. It's 9 songs. It's on Spotify. Just look up Trevor Wright, Dark Country. I'm all, just look up Trevor Wright, Dark Country. And then I have a bunch of other music on there too. What is the worst thing that has ever happened to you? That's a really great question. That's awesome. That's a good question. Hold on, I have to think about that. That is hilarious for some reason. What is the worst thing that's ever happened to you? That's actually a great question to ask somebody. I really think that's a good question. That's probably top 10 questions you could ever ask somebody. What's the worst thing that's ever happened to you? That's deep, honestly. It just comes to mind just unfortunate random events that has happened. But that's kind of, yeah, the worst thing. I don't know. Just I can't think of one specific thing that was so much worse than all the other little things that has happened. It's not really what happens to us in life, it's how we deal with it, Meaning, if you're in a bad mood and something small could happen, it could be, a tragedy or traumatic. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know the worst thing. It's just, I just can't think of one specific horrible thing. So yeah, my album, Dark Country, it's streaming, and then I also dropped a single, Rocking Out, ROCKIN, out, OUT. Yeah, so I dropped a single, Rocking Out. I've been playing music for a long time, and it's just different now for some reason. I'm going to be also releasing an EP later this year. How much money do you have in total from your album? More like, how much money did I spend? That's what I'm thinking about. So I bought a brand new Apple iMac. That was $2,400. I bought a bass. I bought an audio interface. I bought a microphone. Money to publish music. Money to copyright music. So I've spent in the last year maybe $10,000 to $12,000 recording music, and then I do make money. My album costs $14.99, and then I make money from streams. But I'm nowhere close to even breaking even. So I made more money from music when I was 15 years old than I do now. I make more money. I made more money when I was actually 15 years old in my first band with Justin Randomland, Justin Scard, who's actually an influencer and a YouTuber. But we were in a band, and we went to the same high school in Anaheim, California, and we did, tours and played concerts, and we were kind of like a hybrid band. I mean, we're like punk rock alternative. I mean, we were punk rock, but as time goes by, you kind of look at music and stuff differently. I mean, we were punk rock, but punk rock music, and we were, started off, in the, playing at churches, playing Christian venues or Christian concerts. But then we started kind of writing secular music, which was my idea.
like we came out with an album, Image, which was a 15-song album, and I mean, Away. Think I know I wrote at least half that song. I think I might have wrote the whole song, or he wrote the lyrics. I forget, but so there's a song called Away, and that was just a secular song. That was just secular music. We would have been a lot bigger, I think, if we were just a secular band. I honestly think so. Um, but even still, I mean, we would play pretty big shows. I mean, that band would make $2,000 just on T-shirts. One show. Oh man. So I really had all this stuff to say about music, and I just can't remember. I don't know. See, the music scene has changed a lot. How it is now compared to 20 years ago. Now everything is social platforms. Just it's all social platforms. I'm not saying that there's no more concerts or anything. I know there's still festivals and concerts, and there's Warped Tour, and there's Coachella, and there's still concerts, but it seems like you can't really make a name for yourself unless your social platforms are huge. Where when I was growing up, and when I was in bands when I was 14 years old and 15 years old, it was all word of mouth. You made flyers, you passed out flyers, for your concert. Everything was word of mouth. And the only way you could get a T-shirt or an album, buy a CD from a band, is you'd have to like physically go to their concert. Now everything is social platforms. So really, I was kind of the last generation of old school musicians we would play so many concerts. We would be playing concerts all the time, anywhere we could. And you could only get so popular. Your band could only be so popular because this was before social platforms. So you could really only be popular in your community or the city you're from, unless you had major record label backing. If you were signed by some huge label, then you could become worldwide, TV or whatever. But if you were just a band, an everyday, if you're just dudes in a band and you're like a teenager 25 years ago, I mean, you could only locally get so big. And yeah, we did tour. We would tour. We would network and go to other states and do United States tours and stuff. So that was like the next step, is first you would become locally big and you play all these concerts and get a local following. Then you start making calls, and then you would tour with another band, and you tour around. And I mean, bands still do that. It hasn't changed that much. There's still bands selling T-shirts, and there's still concerts and venues, but all I'm saying is that now there's social platforms. And there wasn't before, and it just changed everything. And streaming. So if you wanted to listen to a band's album, you would have to buy their CD, like go to their website, buy it online, or you'd have to usually go to their actual concert to get a CD or a T-shirt. So when you had a CD from a band, it was intimate. It was like, man, I bought this. I saw them live. Wow, their CD sounds good also, but live they were so great, or their CD isn't as good as their live, or their CD is way better than live, or whatever. You had the CD. It was a what's the word? It was, yeah, like I guess a specialty item. And now everybody's music is just crammed onto these streaming platforms, and it's just another fucking idiot, writing music and putting his music up there like all the other idiots. Sorry for calling everyone idiots, but yeah, just anybody who feels like they could write a song or whatever, they just put a song up. It's just not, I don't know, stream my music. It's different. because when I was growing up, it was cassette still. It was actually cassette and CD. So when I was, 10 or 11 years old, you'd be driving around and you'd have a cassette from a band. You went and saw them live and you're like, oh man, this band was rad. You put in the cassette and it was just, a specialty item. And then it went to CDs, but it's just different. Now that it's streaming platforms, it's just social platforms, just different being a musician. I don't know, it's way different. So, yeah, I had some topics I wanted to go over. I honestly can't remember. I mean, I just can't believe Chuck Norris died. I can't believe he just died out of nowhere. I think everybody thought he was going to live till he was 100. Healthiest martial artist, figured out a diet plan, take his course, figure out what kind of food you should eat. He seemed like he was going to live to 100. He really did. And I'm sure there's going to be conspiracy people coming out, there always is, saying, oh, he whatever, I don't know, putting all the numbers together or something, but it is kind of unusual. I mean, he died out of nowhere. He died out of absolutely nowhere. No. Feel bad for his family, his kids, his daughters. I think he had adult daughters, his wife. He was very, he'd work out with his wife and stuff, and they had a workout. Didn't he sell the workout machine? That was big. That was 15 or 20 years ago, where he had some sort of workout machine that was basically like every other workout machine. He's like, no, if you do this workout machine a certain way, it had the rope or whatever. I forget what it was. It was something. I think he had a few different kind of things. I almost thought he was the hang upside down, but that was a different. Stretching is important. Stretching is very important. I need to stretch more. Stretching is much better for you than, I think, lifting weights. I mean, lifting weights gets to the point where, I mean, there's people, they post their workout videos like, oh, look, I'm working out again, lifting weights. I mean, you could become so, physically fit and then you just die. It's just kind of, I don't know, it seems pointless to me for some reason. Where yoga and stretching seems like it has more benefits. It feels like stretching your ligaments, it's good for your blood flow, for your mentality. I feel like doing yoga is more rewarding and has better longevity, more health rewards doing stretching and yoga than just lifting weights. I mean, it gets to the point where you lift so many weights, you just look like an idiot, I mean, I don't know. It just, especially now that we have guns and stuff. I mean, I could see, being extremely physically strong being important 1,000 years ago, but now, I mean, you just, somebody could just shoot you in the fucking head, after you've been working out for 20 years straight. I guess it depends how you work out and stuff. I mean, obviously there's a whole science, behind all these different workouts. It's not so basic. Like, yeah, I just bench press, 45-pound plates, 45-pound bar, 10 sets of 10. That's what I got up to back when I worked out in my 20s. But it just got to the point where I just like, why am I doing this? I'm not saying it's all ego, but it's just, I mean, I think a lot of guys work out because they want to get girls, or not be jumped. You know, like you're not going to be jumped by like 5 people if you have a lot of muscles. You're probably more likely to be jumped by 5 people by looking like some kind of gym rat. Um, I think there's a balance. You know, I think you want to balance your stretching, flexibility, and weightlifting, and then cardio. It's like a triangle. You know, you want to do everything moderately, you know, in balance with yourself. You know, I think that's the best way to work out. You know, working out is like kind of like praying. It's kind of like meditation. And when you're praying, you have to say your prayer and listen. Say your prayer and listen. It's not, and so when you're just doing weights, it's like you're just begging life for something. Like, oh, I'm gonna work out to the point where I'm so buff looking, and I'm just gonna get whatever I want in life. And then I think you have to do your stretching, you know, meditating, you know, jogging, cardio. It's like, what if you have to run for your life? You know, how far can you run? You know, can you run 10 miles? If your life depended on it? I could, maybe, but I don't know. Probably. Ugh. I was always so skinny growing up that it didn't matter how I could bench press, you know, 245-pound plates on each side, 10 sets of 10. I mean, I would still be skinny. I'm still like that. I could work out and do 100 push-ups a day, and I will literally be exactly, you know, the same looking. Like, it won't get any bigger. Core. That's what you want to do, is your core. Core workout is important. Hip rotations, stretching, ab workouts. You know, I did Thai kickboxing for years, a variety of ab workouts. Stay away from processed sugar. Maturity. That's what. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Okay, it took me 42 minutes to get to a topic. So I had it all wrong in my 20s. You would always hear, you know, oh, it's good to be mature. Girls like mature guys. Girls like older guys. Girls like mature guys, and all that stuff. And I had it all twisted. I had it all wrong. I thought mature was being wealthy, dressing nice, being well-spoken. But it's actually what a girl means when they're like, they want a mature guy. They just want a guy that's not obsessed with sex. That's all that means. They don't tell you that because girls are like that. They won't tell you what they really are thinking, but they want a guy that's not obsessed with sex and that is like grossed out. Grossed out. Sex grosses them out. You know, an older, mature guy that's not obsessed with sex. That's what mature means. When a girl's like, I want a mature guy, she's not talking about, yeah, a guy that actually maybe has some money. You know, more than, you know, $200. But it's not, I thought, you know, honest to God, I thought being mature in my early 20s, you know, you hear girls say, I want a mature guy, I want an older guy. I didn't really know what mature meant. I thought it meant not getting angry, dressing well. But really it means just not being obsessed with sex. That's all it means. Because if you're not some pervert creep person that's like obsessed with sex, then a girl will feel safe and comfortable with you. Because even they think it's gross. It's the dirtiest place on the planet, you know. A girl's vagina, man. That is the most bacteria out of any place in the planet, you know. So once you become older and you've had, you know, so many different girlfriends or whatever, you basically get grossed out. You know, like sex grosses you out. You look at a girl and you're like, man, I do not want to have sex with her at all. That is disgusting. That is gross. Even when she's really attractive, she could have the perfect figure. She could be, the hottest, a 10. She could be an 11, and she wants to have sex with you, and you still don't want it because you're mature. You're like, I don't want to get in that. That's disgusting. I don't want to get some kind of fucking bacteria, yeast infection or something. I don't want to deal with her. I don't want to listen to her. I don't want to hear what she has to say. I don't want her to drain my fucking energy and life focus. And you stay away from all the girls and you don't even want to sleep around. Then you're mature. That happened to me at about 38. Okay, I'm 40 years old. I know it's about a couple of years ago. I'm just like, man, I don't even want to date this chick. I'm not even interested. And people are thinking, well, is that because when guys get older, they lose their testosterone? When guys get older, they just become old gay dudes? No, you just have had so much sex, you just are not interested in it anymore. It becomes gross. And then you've crossed the line to mature. And then a girl could trust you, and she feels safe with you because she's like, well, this guy, he's not some fucking sex fucking pervert freak or whatever. So that's really what I wanted to come on YouTube to talk about. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. It's like I finally figured it out. Technically, there are some secrets to marriage and relationships and stuff, and we learn them in the church, but I don't want to talk about the church and stuff live. I don't want to offend anybody, but definitely learn some stuff. Absolutely. Take your time. That's all I gotta say. Take your time. You don't want to be a fuck boy. If you find someone you love and you want a relationship with them, you want to be a complete person, and you find another complete person. You don't want to find your other half. That's like some trauma bonding shit. You want to be a complete person, and you find another complete person, not two halves of people. And you grow up always hearing like find your other half and stuff. That's incorrect. If you feel like if you're in a relationship, Olivia Swedingsburg, I'm talking to you directly. No, I'm just kidding. But if you're in a relationship and you feel like you need that person, like I have to be in this relationship, it's got to work out. I'm going to figure out how to make this relationship work out forever. I'm going to be perfect. It's not a good relationship. You want to get married and be in a relationship to become more saintly, not to succeed in an incredible sex life or to have money or to feel more comfortable or something like that. You want to become more saintly and more Christ-like. That's the whole point of being married. It's a sacrament in the church. And we've gotten so far from the original calling of marriage. You want to become married to become more saintly. Not just to have this incredible life. Oh, now everybody thinks I'm awesome. My wife's attractive. We have so much money. We have incredible sex. I've done this. This relationship's perfect. This is a perfect friendship. It's my partner. I don't even call her my bitch anymore. It's like it's not a fucking sport, being in a relationship is not like a fucking a sport. How great can your relationship be compared to someone else's relationship? And you see that a lot, people, oh, I have 5,000 followers on Instagram and my girlfriend has 40,000 followers, so that's pretty good, according to the follower ratio, that's pretty appropriate. It's how you're thinking is you're trying to be a people pleaser and you're trying to please like the crowd basically. But who gives a fuck about a bunch of people you don't even know? Like, why do you want to be held hostage over what the crowd thinks about you? So I am definitely going to I'm going to wrap this live up. Thanks to everybody who commented. Can you buy me something since you're rich? No, I can't. I can't buy you something because you're not supposed to do any kind of. It's because my girlfriend, my future wife, controls all my money, so I don't have any control over access to my money. So I couldn't even give you or buy you anything, even if I wanted to. She does all that. So I'm going to be releasing an instrumental. It's kind of hip hop, Indian vibe instrumental in a couple weeks. Then I'm going to do a 5-song EP, which is going to have some punk rock, alternative pop punk rock songs on it, and some other chill kind of like 90s vibe songs. I'm going to do a 5-song EP that's going to be coming out after my single. And then after that, I'm going to just go to straight up rock, like 70s rock and roll stuff. Just the stuff I was kind of doing with Hold Me Like a Gun. Just rock. Just going to do rock music from here on out. It's all going to be rock now. It's going to be straight up rock and roll. Yeah, you know, I'm not sure. I don't want to get political. I've already gotten a little religious, but you're all, whoa, where'd that come from? Look at all that hair. I'm like, I put my hair down, take my hair off, and it's all about Iraq, mate. We're going to be playing straight up rock and roll. So stay safe, guys. Stay safe out there. I don't know what's going on with this political madness. I don't know what's staged. I don't know the agenda. All I know is gas prices went up a lot. I'm in North Arizona. Okay, I was paying around $3 a gallon. Now it's $4.20, $4.30. I don't got that, kind of money to be. So I don't know what's going on with this Middle Eastern war. What's real, what's staged. But what I do know is I'm paying way more for gas. And now I feel like I'm going to be killed by some fucking terrorists, and you should too. Because if you think, okay, I'm not anti-American, I'm not I'm nothing, I'm just, y'all are fucking crazy. Everybody, right, left, you're all fucking lunatic, brainwashed, indoctrinated fucking maniacs. All of you brainwashed, indoctrinated maniacs, left, right, I don't fucking care where you stand. You're crazy. I'm not part of any of that shit. I don't know what's going on there, but the way we're bombing them, never in the history of warfare has a leader gotten away with just killing a bunch of people for no reason without retaliation. Okay? I like the country. I hope nothing bad happens to us, but they're gonna get back at us eventually. It's gonna happen. Whether it's 10 years from now, 20 years from now, they're gonna fucking Islam extremists, Muslims, eventually they're gonna come and fucking kill innocent Americans over this shit that we're doing, how we're just relentlessly bombing them. Israel and Iran, Israel and Islamic countries, they've been at war for 4,000 years, and they're just in a stranglehold. They're in a deathlock with each other, and I don't think we should have anything to do with it. This country is not Islamic. This country is not Jewish. We're traditionally Protestant American, so predominantly non-denominational Protestant American. So the reason why America military is siding with Israel is because something about Protestant Christians, which is a heretical church, it's not even a real church. Protestant Christians and Israeli Jews, for whatever reason, they get along. They're like they're on the same page for whatever reason. So really, this country should, separation of church and state. I mean, we shouldn't be involved in religious wars. If we're American and if we're going off American standards, we shouldn't be picking sides with religious wars, and that's what we're doing. We're taking sides. We're taking religious sides, and it just seems un-American to me. And now I feel like the Islams are the Islams are coming for us now. Damn it. Darn it. What's wrong with this country? Just bombing a bunch of innocent Islams, and now they're coming for us. Now, I don't know. That's one of the reasons I'm moving out of this country is I don't want to be affiliated with this like Israeli Protestant agenda of whatever they got going on with their Hollywood, their indoctrination, their gas price. I'm just not on board for any of that. You know, I'm European type. You know, I'm the like North European where we don't fuck around with anything. You know, we're just like I'm gonna go to Poland or something. Going to Ireland. You know, I'm just gonna be, you know, hanging out with the leprechauns and all the folklore, you know, just living in the magical little forest areas, you know, away from all this political religious drama. Yeah, so what stream my album, buy my album. Buy my album. Buy my album, $14.99. There's a link in the bio on my Instagram, Trevor6Wright. Trevor6Wright. Link in the bio. Album is $14.99. Buy the album. $14.99. Buy the album. The more people that buy my album, the more people that stream, the more people that are interactive on my social media, it gives me more of a platform and more ability to continue to write music. And that's it. Okay, you guys have a good day. Thanks again to my new subs, and thanks to my ultra fan, my super fan. IND only cars. Yeah. Thank you, dude, or girl, or whatever, whoever you are. Thank you for all the comments. I appreciate it. It's okay, you know, blasted me with comments. You kind of blew up my live, but it's okay. It's cool. I've done that. We've all done that, where you're just like, say hi, do something, jump around the house, message me. I'm going to end this live with a song. Got 2 minutes left. I could spare an hour. I could spare 1 hour. Guitar's out of tune. Sorry. Woo! Yeah, I want to sing. There's lyrics to the song, but I wrote them. I wrote this song when I was in my early 20s, and I was deep in the party world. It was, every day was. I don't want to be a bad influence to young people, but every day was extra curriculum activities. My hot girlfriend, we were going to clubs all the time, playing concerts all the time. Every day was a party, all sorts of stuff. Super hot girlfriend, a bunch of friends, bunch of musician friends. And when I wrote this song, the lyrics don't really, I'm 40. I wrote this song when I was 22. So I wrote this in a dark time of my life. No, it was fun though. Actually, I was thinking, I kind of want to go back to that. I had a lot of fun in my early 20s. Where's my hot girlfriend again? I had a hot girlfriend, extra curriculum activities, tons of, clubs. Every day was a party for about 3 years straight. I had tons of fun all the time. And now, if I had $1 every time I was asked out by a woman, or was it a dime? I would be a very poor and lonely guy. Snow falls on the curve of her back, and I would be a very rich and handsome guy. So don't talk to me about heartbreak. I see some pain and love lost. It's a pity party, yeah, we all know. So don't talk to me about heartbreak. I see some pain and love lost. It's a pity party, yeah, we all know. Okay, so that's a song I wrote a long time ago called Pity Party, and there's more to it, but so you guys have a great day. Stay safe out there, man. Stay out of those politics, man. Get your cardio on. Don't watch mainstream news. Don't buy anything. Don't talk to anybody. Don't do anything. Don't subscribe to anybody. Don't follow anybody. What's wrong with these female influencers? What the hell is gone wrong with our females? Social platforms ruined women. Man, no, hey, I don't want to be rude, but you will not, nobody wants to date a female influencer. I'm serious. Nobody. That's like a nightmare. Could you imagine that? That would be a living nightmare. Dating some crazy ass goddess type influencer chick that's, there's 300,000 dudes a day jerking off to her. Yeah, she's got all these pictures and videos up of her. She's basically like a virtual whore. And then you think you're gonna have a decent life with this chick that's been putting up all this stuff? Hell no, man. Get yourself a pious, Catholic farm girl that's just, normal and serenity, peace and serenity is worth so much more than money and hype and attention. Look at this girl. She's just like, she's just right on me. She's right on me. She loves to have her pets. She's looking at the phone like, get that shit out of my fucking face. I'm getting petted right now. Turn that fucking phone off. All right, guys. Okay, one more sidekick for Chuck. 2 sidekicks for Chuck Norris. We love you, Chuck. Bam. 1 sidekick. Bam. 2 sidekicks. Bam. 3 sidekicks. Bam. 4 sidekicks. Bam. 5 sidekicks. Bam. 6 sidekicks. Bam. Bam. Double sidekick. Didn't see that coming. Boom. 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 Whack. Chuck. Right to the jugular, motherfucker. We love you, Chuck. You were a great one. You're a great martial artist. We will do 10 sidekicks a day for you for the rest of our lives. All right, guys. I got shit to do today. I haven't been live in a while. I feel like I'm just warming up too. What the hell? What the him homming is going on around here? What the him hopping is going on? Him humming. What are you doing over there, him humming with that guitar? Don't you got something to do? Over there, him humming, wailing around like some whipped dog and shit, crying in the night. Whew. I'm out of breath. Okay. Let's freestyle. Take it easy, man. Be real. Be real with your shit. Be real. Watch your money. Watch your paper. These girls be trying to get you to like buy them shit. It's like, I hate to break it to you, but you're not the first girlfriend I've had, and I'm really not that interested. I'm definitely not going to buy you anything. And I don't even want you to know where I live because you're kind of like a digital prostitute and you're gross. And you got like 700 people heart liking your posts and shit. And it's not that I'm jealous. It's just you gross me out. I'm 40 years old now. Women are gross. Once you've had enough girls, it's all the same shit with the different bullshit personality. It's disgusting. It's the dirtiest place on the planet. Do you know how much bacteria is on a vagina? Damn. Getting married is just like having a live-in prostitute in your house. It's like a prostitute that doesn't go away. You got to deal with all that female bullshit and fucking all the just, I don't even know what that is, man. You got to deal with all that shit. At least with the prostitute, they leave. It's a transaction. It's a transactional relationship. When you get married or you have a girlfriend, it's just a slow torture chamber, a psychological torture chamber, a nonstop fucking struggle. Like, oh man, I better have enough money to buy her more shit, so she feels like it's worth it. So this digital whore feels like it's worth it. It's like she ain't even that hot in the first place, dude. Her body's a 7. It's like, yeah, she's got 5 million followers, but she's at like a 6 or 7. Her ass is at like a 6 or 7, and that's all we care about. Okay, so why don't you go get a 9 that's not an influencer? Ditch the chick that has a 6 to 7 ass, leave her, and then go get a 9, a girl that's not a digital whore. I know, Chuck Norris passed. I've been talking about that for literally an hour. I've just been going off on influencer bitches, but I know it's sad. I did literally like 20 sidekicks for Chuck Norris. Great martial artist, great man. And then we talked about other stuff. Oh no, you do not retract your message. Message retracted. Come on, man. Scott Truth. Thanks for joining in. Are those earmuffs from shooting, or are you a musician? I'm trying to look in at your profile picture, but I can't see it. Yep, Memory Eternal Chuck. You guys have a good one. We talked about Chuck Norris. We talked about old people faking it. We talked about being mature, getting over that. Ooh, nah, 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 nah. Get over that shit, man. Get over that. Ooh, nah, 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 nah. There we go. That's one of my new songs I'm going to be writing. Get over that. Ooh, nah, 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 nah. Get over that shit, man. Get over that. Ooh, nah, 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 nah. Dude, why? How is it that everything gets so ghetto in America? Yeah, I'm looking up. Damn fucking folks out there. Can anybody hear me? Yeah, man, just so ghetto. I was at work and I was watching this. It was one of those old like 90s. It was a movie that's only 5 years old, but it was filmed in the 90s and it was just so ghetto. Just ghetto culture in America. I'm not really sure I'm vibing in this country. It just seems so ghetto and just stupid and ghetto. This country seems stupid and ghetto. That's why I want to move out. It seems gay, stupid, ghetto, and staged. And I'm not paying for you guys' shit, okay? I'm not paying for your stupid shit. Okay? I'm not paying money to a military to attack people over religious viewpoints because Protestant America shares the same viewpoints as Israel and they got this like little pact going on and they want to destroy the rest of the world. I'm not fucking paying for that shit. I'm not going to be part of it. Okay? It's like I'm bowing out. Like, no, you guys fucking end of the world shit. Absolutely, man. That's some end of the world shit right there. Yeah, I'm not suiting up and putting on fucking body armor and shit to defend the country from the attacks and shit. I'm not. I'm moving out of the country and I'm gonna become an Irish folk artist and write songs about magical times of the past, magicalness of it all. Magicalness. I'm gonna write magicalness. I'll move to Ireland and write magicalness and just grow my hair long and walk around and wear a robe and play wooden instruments and build little things in the forest trees of little cobble streets of, have mushroom tea and just learn how to speak Gaelic and just have a little redheaded like fucking fairy woman that just is like prancing around like she's in a play and just watch all the butterflies and it'd be like a little fairy tale. That's where I'm going, not to fucking crazy land. Hashtag I didn't know it was crazy day, man. These people going off about fucking some Israeli Arabic folklore that happened 4,000 years ago, and it's like that's not my culture. All right, you guys have a good one. You guys have a good one, Scott. You better put that message back on, dude. I'll find you, bro. I'll get you, dude. You better put that comment back on. I liked it. Chuck Norris died. Yeah, we know. We talked about that for 40 minutes. You missed it. You missed it all, brother. All right, I'm just kidding. You're cool. You cool. JK. Just kidding. Okay, later.